Hi, Elise. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So I had this, I still can't believe I've committed to this. So this is the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali by Sri Swami Satchidananda. At least this translation and commentary is by this person in a just swathed in pink robes here. And I thought that it would be fun to go through each sutra, like starting from the beginning and then going all the way till the end. And like the last book is really, really fun and kind of wild. I like don't even know how we're going to digest those ones when we get there. But we're still very much at the beginning in book 1, Samadhipada portion on contemplation. And as a yogi, yoga comes from India and it comes from Hindu tradition. And so I want to keep that part of the practice alive. And we are on the first book and the 7th sutra. And the sutra before, the 6th, is, I'll read the 5th and the 6th. There are 5 kinds of mental modifications, which are either painful or painless. They are right knowledge, misconception, verbal delusion, sleep, and memory. And this brings us to the 7th one we're at right now. And I'm using the Sanskrit pronunciation guide that's given at the beginning of the book to read these in Sanskrit. And it's pratyaksha. And pratyaksha is direct perception. Anumana, which is inference. Agamaha, testimony. And pramanani. So the source of right knowledge are direct perception, inference, and scriptural testimony. And if you have a history with a religious background, like I hear the words scriptural testimony and I'm like, oh my God, like get me out of here. Like I don't want to do anything with religion. But what this I think is really saying is one of the forms of vrittis, so one of the thought forms, and this is correct knowledge or valid knowledge, comes through direct perception. So yeah, what you understand by seeing for yourself. Another is inference. So if you see smoke, you can assume there's fire. And then the other one is a reliable authority. And what immediately comes to my mind is scientists, people that like really put in the time and validly like go through a whole process and arrive with a conclusion. And asking, where's the proof? Not just following someone blindly. And it seems pretty straightforward, pretty obvious. But I'm like, well, if our president just followed this one sutra, we would be in way better state of affairs. So all of these little sutras as threads that link all together and are just supposed to be our guides to samadhi, which is total absorption. And if you're into this part of class, that's awesome. Otherwise, you can kind of take it or leave it. We will move and flow through space. And before we get into class, we are going to be using a strap today. So if you have like a scarf or if you have a t-shirt, like a stretchy t-shirt, or like a very long sock, or just something that you think you could use as a strap, I'm using a scarf. There's many objects in the home that are very practical. So if you want to go ahead and grab that right now, I'll give you a sec. Sometimes it takes a moment to scrummage up those things. Cool. And then find a comfortable seat. You can shut down the eyes and feel the points of contact between your body and the floor, the stability and the anchoring sensation that comes with just sitting and being connected with the earth. And then the complementary oppositional action, so the spine springing up, and you can relax the shoulders down. You can even shut down your eyes. We'll take a couple clearing breaths, and then we'll do one round of Om together. And I chant Om to connect us through resonance, sound, and vibration. And I cannot hear you in the way that I used to be able to hear you when we chanted Om, but we are still sharing space and time, even if we're in different rooms, sharing frequency in a different capacity now. So inhale in through the nose. And exhale, HA out of the mouth. Inhale in through the nose. And exhale, HA. Let the breath go. This time, prepare for one Om. Inhale. Om. Inhale in. And exhale, release the air out of your mouth. And we'll start class today in balasana, child's pose, bringing the toes to touch. Knees can either be extended or knees can also be together, arms out long in front of you, or they can also be at your sides. And taking a moment to arrive and noticing the external environment, noticing any tactile sensations that you're taking in with your senses, noticing temperature, noticing texture, the quality of the air and the space that you are occupying. And it may be a space that you become maybe a little too familiar with. And so acknowledging this space as, for the next hour, the place where you will be practicing yoga. And the bus may go by and there may, the mailman might stop by or the mail person might stop by and ring the neighbor's doorbell or something. And just knowing there's going to be a bunch of distractions likely to arise and using them as an opportunity to come back to your practice and return. And then return again, even when the mind wanders. So coming back to this present tense, non-judgmental awareness. And after examining this outermost layer, the physical, arriving at the breath, noticing the intake of oxygen, expanding of the ribs, the diaphragm, the belly, and then the exhale, the release of CO2, the emptying sensation, the flattening, concaving. And this is a cycle, it's repetitious, and it's part of the autonomic nervous system, so we don't have to think about it. Like, thank God we're not always thinking about breathing, but also we can choose to focus our attention on the breath. And it's very much, Rochelle's practicing outside, it's very much in interplay with the natural environment. The trees take in the CO2 and they release the oxygen. So it's very much in play with the world around us, the plant life and the trees. And then arriving at the mind, and the mind thinks. And we've been studying the sutras, and in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, they call wave or thought waves, or basically the things that you're thinking in your mind, fantasizing, dwelling, brooding, any of that stuff, they call them vrittis. And so maybe today, taking an extra close look at direct perception and true knowledge. And before we went to virtual vinyasa, I used to ask for consent at this point in class, and I still want to hold space for that because I think consent is important, consent is fluid, but now it's kind of more of a self-consent. So in the practice, if you're being asked to come back to child's pose and come back to your breath, to listen to that, or if you want to come down to a back knee and take a modification that I may not have mentioned, like please do that. And also deepening assists. You can practice them with your own tactile touch, and I may even throw out some suggestions as we practice together to help you get even deeper into the practice and increase your ability of proprioception, of feeling and being in your body without having to really look at it. And we'll now engage the Ujjayi breath, the upward victorious breath, gentle constriction in the glottis, back of the throat. Inhale in through the nose. And exhale, HA out of your mouth. Inhale in through the nose. And exhale, HA out of your mouth. Like you're fogging up a mirror. Inhale in through the nose. And exhale out through the nose.
And continuing, inhale in through the nose. And exhale out through the nose. And if there's any point in class where you lose track of the breath, always welcome to come back to child's pose and connect with the breath, connect with the ground, recenter. And gently over the next few breaths, pressing up into a tabletop. And if you haven't already, you can start the playlist. And finding a sense of neutrality in the spine. Crown of the head is forward, tailbone is back. And then we'll flow through flexion and extension of the spine. Inhale, cow pose, drop your belly, lift the gaze. And exhale, cat pose. Press the palms into the mat. Round the belly, maybe even tuck the chin. Inhale, cow pose, chest up, tail up. And exhale, cat pose, press, round, dome and tuck. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat, press, round. Create that Halloween cat shape with your body. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. And you can go ahead and flow your own breath to movement now. And take a moment to scan the body. Notice if there's anywhere there might be residual tension, or there's something you need to kind of shake out. Maybe you need to bang out your feet. Maybe the wrists are feeling really tight. You want to take a wrist variation. Maybe you just kind of want to shimmy up and down the shoulders or rock the hips right to left, left to right. And it doesn't have to be anything beautiful or glamorous. It can be kind of weird. Basically anything your body is asking for, satiate that craving. And then we'll meet back in a neutral table over the next few breaths. And go ahead and sink your hips down to one side. Let the hips fall towards the left. I want to work into gomukasana, the cow face pose. And so go ahead and make sure your strap is nearby and actually come into a tabletop. And we're gonna practice on the right side first. So I'm gonna lift up my left hand just so you can see, but bring the left leg behind the right leg. So the right leg is on top of the left, and create a little more width or distance in between your shins. And then slowly let the hips fall back. And when you arrive here, if you're experiencing pain in the bottom knee, extend that knee out or extend that leg out long. Or if you're experiencing any extreme discomfort in the top knee, we never want to stretch our knees. So maybe putting like a block or a book in between the legs. If you take yin classes, this is also called shoelace pose. And taking a moment to arrive. I've been teaching this posture a lot, but I also have been really enjoying it. So hopefully you're enjoying it as well. And then go and grab your strap, whatever form it came in, and put it in the right hand. Then let the scarf drape behind you. And then with the left arm, swoop that behind and grab for the scarf or the strap. And you might have to futz with the distance you want in between the hands to find the appropriate degree of your edge. And the edge is such an interesting place to be because sometimes we need to push up on boundaries. We're kind of keeping ourselves too, I don't want to say locked in, but maybe like too safe, not pushing ourselves out of discomfort. There's a famous David Bowie quote that I'm not even going to say right now, but you might be familiar with it, where he talks about like going like out into the ocean, and right where you can't touch the bottom, like that's where you're on the precipice of doing something amazing. So sometimes that's what we need. We need to push up on limits, but other times we need to honor the boundaries. Like if the body is asking you to stop, it's giving you messages for a reason. An option to stay like this, or option to slowly fold forward.
And again, stopping where the range of motion is having you stop. Maybe the chest comes all the way down. Maybe you can rest the chin on top of the knee or the top of your chin. It always reminds me of something like my cat would do. My cat loves to rest his chin on things. And slowly unfurl the spine, lift the chest gently with intention. And release the grip that you've taken. And we'll do a little side bending in the body, lateral flexion. So plant your right palm. There's also the option, if you have the range of motion, to bring the right forearm to the ground. And then lift the left arm up, bicep comes by the ear, and stretching through the side body. You can even really try to zero in your awareness into the torso. You can try to feel your iliac crest, the very tip of your pelvis, the floating ribs, and those two kind of spreading away from each other. The intercostal muscles and the rib cage, the stretching of the internal and external obliques. There's a lot of sensation going on there. And then come back to center. Plant the left palm or plant the left forearm. Bring the right arm up, right bicep comes by the ear, and stretching through the side body. And even noticing the rotation of your chest, like are you kind of facing down? And if so, what would it be like if you turned your chest open, right ribs over, left ribs under? Really extend the right arm. And then come back to center. Send the arms behind you. Unthread your legs and come back to tabletop. And we're going to go ahead and do all of that on the other side. So working onto the left side, this time bringing the right thigh behind the left and taking a moment to set this up, maybe creating a little bit of distance in between your shins so there's space for your butt to come back onto. And this side might be totally different. So if you need to extend the right leg out long to protect your knee, please do so. Or if you want to wedge a book in between the legs. And we'll work into gomukasana or cow face pose on this side. So grab your strap and let it drape behind you. And then with the right arm, swoop that behind the back and grab for the strap. And you might have to kind of twist and turn it, finding the width that is necessary for you. And for me, this is the side that is significantly tighter. So I have way more distance in between my hands right now than I did on the other side. And I think a lot of the times, you know, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, oh yeah, I'm pretty basically symmetrical. Like maybe, I don't know, one eyebrow is higher than the other or something. But through my practice of yoga, I've found that the body is absolutely not asymmetrical because we have a dominant side, or it is not symmetrical because we have a dominant side that tends to be stronger, more muscular, and then a side that's a little more flexible. So knowing that's normal part of the practice. An option to stay here or option to slowly let the chest fall down. And if you were experiencing any sciatica or if you have a slip disc or anything, it's actually good to keep the spine like elevated and lifted and extended. Otherwise, just rounding in, tucking. And vertebrae by vertebrae, lift the head up, release the bind, and we'll do a little side stretching before we move forward. So this time planting the left palm or left forearm, right bicep by the ear, stretching through the side body. And then planting the right palm or the right forearm, left bicep by the ear. And then come back to center. Bring the arms behind you, unthread the legs, and come back to a tabletop. Inhale, tuck under your toes. And exhale, press back, downward facing dog, hips high, heels low. And immediately sending the awareness into the palms of your hands, making sure each knuckle mound is almost suctioned onto your mat, like little suction cups, especially the index finger and the thumb. And then inhale, come onto your tippy toes. And exhale, bend your knees a lot. So you can really feel the tail flaring up towards the ceiling. And then also the lengthening of your vertebrae.
So coming back to the palms, actively pressing them into the mat, feeling the arms actively a part of this process as well. And then threading the awareness through the crown of the head, the neck, the cervical spine, the chest where your ribs are, the thoracic, and then all the way to the lumbar spine, the very tail, and trying to scan that sensation over and over again, because that is the intention of this posture, this lengthening sensation. It's not to create a V or an upside down V with your body. And sometimes to achieve that, you have to have a bend in the knees, especially if you're a runner or a biker, you might have really tight hamstrings. You can slowly release the heels down, just as far as they'll go, and working to straighten the legs. But remember, they don't have to be straight. Coming back to Ujjayi breath, inhale in through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. Inhale, look to the front. And exhale, move their ragdoll forward fold. Feet are hips width distance. You can bend the knees pretty generously here so the chest really spills forward. And choose any grip that you like. You can grasp for opposite elbows. Sway left, sway right. Maybe you prefer to interweave the fingers at the base of your skull. Or perhaps you like to take a shoulder expansion, threading the fingers and setting a chest expansion, setting the fist up high. And you can bend one knee, the other knee. Taking a moment to, they call this dangling pose actually in yin. So taking a moment to dangle, connect to the weight of your chest and the weight of gravity pulling you down. And release any chosen grip and choose your feet for sun salutations. You can toe heel the feet to touch or leave a little distance in between the feet, because sometimes that's going to allow for more structure and stability, and that's what we needed. Sometimes that's what we need in our practice to feel grounded. And vertebrae by vertebrae, unfurl your spine, moving slowly, moving with intention, and arriving at standing. Samastiti, same or equal on all sides standing posture. And sensing all four corners of your feet. You can even pick up the toes, plant them back down. And finding where you find balance in your body. That point and center of intrinsic equilibrium, the axis that you are always slightly orbiting around. And at this point in class, I always leave space to set intention, and your intention can be to be at attention throughout this whole practice. I think that's a wonderful tool to just practice present tense, non-judgmental awareness throughout class. Or it can be more energetic, an I am or an I have statement. I also tend to follow the lunar cycles, and most of you know that it is a full moon. I was outside last night and it was so luminous and bright. And so sometimes during a full moon, if you tap into those kind of things, things just might feel extra heightened. You may be kind of exhausted just from the building of the cycle, but also remembering this is the peak. So it's only the halfway point of the cycle. And if you follow kind of like the traditional cycle, which is planting a seed at the new moon and then growing it, and then at the full moon you may be reaping the harvest, and then you kind of fine-tune things during the waning moon. Maybe that's not exactly how it's working for you, but just noticing your energy level today and maybe just taking note of it, and then next time a full moon comes around, noticing if something's similar. My partner this morning literally ran for 13 miles. I feel like that is some full moon energy. That is like the extreme, like pushing through. It kind of heightens things. So just noticing if that's relevant to you. Inhale, breathe in the idea, the intention. And exhale, release it out. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, arms up.
Pause here as we set it up, actively pressing the feet into the mat. Just tuning into your arches and your feet. This might lift the kneecaps because you're actively engaging the legs. Uddiyana and Mula Bandha. Mula Bandha is contraction of the pelvic floor, like a trampoline going up. Uddiyana Bandha is belly button goes back towards the spine, creating these seals or locks within your body by playing with atmospheric pressure in the room, trying to relax the shoulders. Inhale, look up. Exhale, Samastiti, arms come back to center. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift, reset your spine, lengthen the vertebrae. Exhale, press back, top of a push-up, Dandasana, staff pose. Pause here and breathe, actively pressing the palms into the mat. And always option to come down to the knees. It's a good way to build strength in the arms and still practice the intention of the posture. Inhale, one more breath here. Exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. Flatten the tops of the feet to the mat. Zip your legs together like you have one long cobra tail. Pressing the tops of the feet into the mat actively, even pressing the tops of the thighs. So legs are super engaged. And arms are near your rib cage. Inhale, cobra pose, Bhujangasana, lift the head, neck, and chest. And exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra pose, little to no weight in the hands. And exhale, lower, back down. Inhale, tabletop. And exhale, press back, downward facing dog, hips high, heels low. Coming back to the Ujjayi breath, inhale in through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. Inhale, look to the front of your mat. Exhale, walk, jump, float, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, reset the spine, lengthen the vertebrae, option have a bend in the knees. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, arms up, rise with your breath. Exhale, Samastiti, arms come back by your sides. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift, reset your spine. Exhale, top of a push-up, Dandasana, staff pose. Pause here. Again, always option to come down to the knees. I'm going to go ahead and cue us through a traditional chaturanga vinyasa flow. And you can go ahead and try that on right now, but then option to switch it up after. If it's not really, you're not feeling it today, or can vary. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower down halfway, chaturanga dandasana. Arms are really close to the rib cage. Inhale, upward facing dog. Pressing the tops of the feet into the mat, legs are lifted. Broadening through the clavicle, the collarbones. And exhale, downward facing dog. Hips high, heels low. So we'll flow quite a few chaturangas, or your version of up to your version and down, or these vinyasa flows throughout class. And there's so many good ways to do them. So one of them is cobra pose, which we did first, tabletop to down dog. Of course, another option is what we just did. Another option is to hang out in dolphin dog. It's a really awesome way to, especially if you have an inversion practice, you're trying to bolster up. This is a good way to practice. It's also a good way to alleviate wrist tension. You can hang out in down dog. I'm actually going to skip most iterations to kind of save my breath as I'm teaching. You can hang out in plank, and you can also practice chaturanga with the knees down and then going to up and then down dog. So really, there's so many good ways to do it, and you don't have to do it the same way every time. So coming back to the breath here, inhale, Ujjayi. Exhale, Ujjayi. Inhale, Ujjayi. Exhale, Ujjayi. Inhale, look to the front. Exhale, move there, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the vertebrae. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, arms up, rise with your breath. Exhale, Samastiti, arms come down. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Ride the breath down. Inhale, halfway lift, reset your spine. Exhale, top of a push-up, Dandasana, staff pose. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower down halfway, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, cobra. Whatever is in your practice today. And exhale, press back, downward facing dog, hips high, heels low. Inhale, Ujjayi. Exhale, Ujjayi. Inhale, look to the front. And exhale, move there, forward folds. Inhale, halfway lift, reset your spine. Exhale, fold, hinge at the hips. Inhale for Utkatasana, fierce pose, awkward chair. Really plugging the weight into your heels, letting the hips sink low. The tail can absolutely flare here. And there should be a little curve in the lower back because the chest is lifting. Arms can be up, or they can also be at heart center. And breathing into the intensity of this posture and also the discomfort. This is one of the, I think it's like the initial pose that we do, but it's very challenging. And so when I arrive here, I often find a lot of resistance. I'm like, oh, get me out, get me out. Like I just want it to end. But also knowing as a yogi, I'm turning towards the experience. I'm just gonna be here and I know that it's gonna end any moment. Inhale here. Exhale, release, fold. Let that go. Inhale, halfway lift, reset your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, reset. Exhale, send the left leg back so your right leg is forward and you're in a low lunge. Take a moment to feel grounded, stable. Inhale, cow lunge. Dip your back knee, shine your chest. Sternum is up, tenting to the fingers or blocks or books. And exhale, cat lunge. Working to straighten the front leg, but it never really has to get all the way straight. Rounding, tucking the neck, and shifting the hips back. And taking a moment to arrive and notice. Notice where you're experiencing sensation in the belly of the muscles. And also notice where you're not experiencing any sensation. Maybe also threading your awareness to the hips, noticing they've rocked towards the right or towards the left. If you can bring them back to neutral. Inhale, cow lunge, dip the back knee. Exhale, cat lunge. Inhale, cow lunge. Exhale, cat lunge. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, step to a forward fold. Left leg comes up to meet the right. Inhale, halfway lift, reset your spine. Exhale, right leg steps back this time. So left leg is forward. And perhaps you need to create a little more distance, width in between your feet. And we'll flow through cat-cow lunges on this side as well. Inhale, cow lunge. Dip the back knee. Shine your chest. Exhale, cat lunge. Working to straighten the front leg. Rocking the hips back. Rounding through the spine, perhaps tucking the chin. And taking a moment to be here on this side. Inhale, Ujjayi. Exhale, Ujjayi. Inhale, cow lunge. Dip the back knee, shine your chest. Exhale, cat lunge. Inhale, cow lunge. Exhale, cat lunge. Inhale, low lunge. And exhale, left leg comes back to meet the right, high plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips high, heels low. And noticing where the mind is directing its attention. If it's fully present, immersed in the experience, if it's becoming a drama queen, or if it's fantasizing, if it's checking out, maybe it's bored. All those things are normal experiences, but trying to thread the awareness back to this experience right here, right now. Inhale, Ujjayi. Exhale, Ujjayi. Inhale, right leg lifts. Reach, extend the right leg behind you. Exhale, scorpion dog, bend the knee. Right knee or right hip is stacked over left hip. Sending the awareness into both palms of the hands. Just noticing how the weight has shifted. Inhale, reach, extend, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. And if you have to pick up the front leg to get it up there, sometimes that's the case. And just taking a moment to feel stable and grounded. And then actually bringing the back knee down to the mat. We're gonna work into runners or lizard's lunge. Bring both hands into the inside seam of your right leg. And toe heel the right foot to the outside edge of your mat. And today I encourage you to kind of play here if it's an accessible range of motion, bringing the armpit on top of the knee and kind of experimenting with that. Maybe even threading the right arm to the outside edge of your right foot. And if that's not feeling like something you want to try on today, there's always the option of walking the forearms forward, letting the head hang. Sending some awareness into the hips. Our shoulders and our hips are ball and socket joints. And I feel like I say that every class, but it's also, I think, where we hold the most tension. And there's also a lot of muscles around there. So always activating and sending some awareness into that part of our body. And noticing if it's more of a physical sensation, if sometimes like a memory might come flooding back or an emotion, knowing that, I mean, I believe issues are in the tissues. So if something like that does arise, knowing that is absolutely part of the practice of yoga, of self-study, and of receptivity. That's what we're doing here. And if you've walked the hands out long in front of you, you can bring them back under the shoulders. Toe heel the right foot back towards center. So hands are framing your front foot. Inhale, tuck under the back toes. Exhale, engage the back leg. Inhale, crescent lunge. Anjaneyasana, arms up, chest lifts. And take a moment to set this up since we're here for the first time. Pressing the ball mount of the back foot into the mat. And trying to tap into the arch there as well. And if you can, pressing the back heel more forward, which helps activate the whole back leg, top of the thigh. Right thigh bone bumps back into right hip socket. Might bump left hip forward. And you might need to create a little more distance in the feet for more stability. Arms are up. Inhale, Ujjayi. Exhale, Ujjayi. Inhale, find length in the spine. Maybe look up if the neck allows. And exhale, open up, warrior two, Virabhadrasana. Spin the back heel down 40-60 degrees. And practicing external rotation of the hip here. Right knee is tracking towards the outside edge of your pinky toe. And sending some awareness into the arms. I think it took me years to spread my awareness to the arms in this posture because I was so hyper fixated on the sensations going on in my legs. You can flip the palms up, flip them back down. And gaze can be forward over middle finger. Inhale, Ujjayi. Exhale, Ujjayi. Inhale, reverse warrior, peaceful warrior. Left arm down, right arm up, stretching through the side body, the obliques. Keeping a deep bend in the front knee. Maybe sending your awareness into the side body just as thoroughly as we did at the beginning of class. We were in cow face pose. Inhale here. Exhale, Trikonasana, Trikonasana. Triangle pose. Right arm down, left arm up. And if you're hypermobile in the knee, you might actually want to bend the knee a little bit to create more structure. And we're twisting and turning with the chest. Left ribs over, right ribs over, under. This may be an opportunity where you'd want to bring the hands to the waist and notice if you twisted and turned even more. And I might not be able to detect it if I was looking at you, but noticing the difference. Inhale, lift the chest, tee the arms. Exhale, side angle pose. Bend the right knee, right arm down, left arm up. Very similar to triangle pose, but the knee is bent. And we're still twisting and turning with the chest. Option to have right forearm on top of right thigh, or option to bring the right arm into the inside seam of the right leg. Inhale, Ujjayi. Exhale, Ujjayi. Inhale, straighten the front leg, lift your chest. Exhale, cartwheel your arms, and flow your version of high to low. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. Inhale, Ujjayi. Exhale, Ujjayi. Inhale, Ujjayi. Exhale, HA out of the mouth. Seal the lips. Inhale in through your nose. Exhale out through your nose. Inhale, left leg lifts. Reach, extend the left leg behind you. Exhale, scorpion dog. Left hip stacks over right hip. Taking a moment to observe sensation. Thread the awareness back into the palms of your hands. Inhale, three-legged dog. Reach, extend. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Feet are on separate tracks. And if you had to pick up the foot to get it up there, that's okay. Sometimes that's a part of the process. And then drop the back knee down, and we'll work into lizard or runners, or sometimes it's called dragon. Bring both hands into the inside seam of your left foot. Toe heel the left foot to the outside edge of your mat. And then opportunity to play here. Maybe you bring the left armpit on top of the left knee. Maybe you experiment with bringing the left arm to the outside edge of your left foot. Experimenting with a bind here. Maybe you want to walk the forearms forward. Let the head hang. Maybe today things are feeling really tight in your adductors. Maybe you just want to have the palms right under your shoulders. And that is enough. That is a good place to be. If you're feeling it, you're doing it. Toe heel the foot back towards center. So your hands frame the front leg. Inhale, tuck under the back toes. Exhale, engage the back leg. Inhale, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Woo! Arms up, chest lifts. And if you wobble, it's a good opportunity just to recalibrate, come back to center. Pressing the ball mound of the back foot into the mat. Maybe today you experiment with lifting the front toes, planting them back down, sensing all four corners of the front foot. You can engage the bandhas here, Uddiyana and Mula Bandha. Inhale here. Exhale, open up, warrior two, Virabhadrasana. Strike the back heel down 40-60 degrees, practicing external rotation of the hip. And I taught a yin class last night, and I often think of this as the origin, right here, the hip, and also the insertion point, and then the thigh is traveling out, and the left knee tracks towards the outside edge of your pinky toe. And when we learn anatomy, a lot of the times I get like hyper focused on each muscle. I'm like, oh, I want to know where my quad is. I want to know where my psoas is. Like I want to know what I'm activating, what's lighting up in my body. But in this yin class I taught the other day, it's actually like the whole body is connected, and it's connected through the network of fascia and connective tissue. And it's transmitting and communicating, and it's also encasing our muscles. So you can focus on certain muscles in the thigh, but also know that it's all connected. And it's really about the entire expression of the posture in the whole body. Inhale, reverse warrior, peaceful warrior. Right arm down, left arm up, stretching to the side body, the obliques. And exhale, Trikonasana. Trikonasana. I'm having a hard time with that one today. Left arm down, right arm up. Front leg is straightening. Bump the hips back. And twisting and turning with the chest. And gaze can go up if the neck allows, but if it's creating tension in the neck, it's not worth the trouble. I know sometimes I sleep funny and my neck is really tense on certain days, so always option to have the neck down or the gaze down. Inhale, lift the arms, tee the chest. Exhale, side angle pose. Left arm down, right arm up. A bent knee in the front leg, and still twisting and turning with your chest like in Trikonasana pose, Trikonasana. Left forearm can rest on top of left thigh, or option to have it on the inside seam of your left leg. Inhale, straighten the front leg, lift your chest. Exhale, cartwheel your arms and flow your version of high to low. And we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Inhale, Ujjayi. And exhale, Ujjayi. Inhale in through the nose. Exhale, HA out of the mouth. Inhale, look to the front. Exhale, move there, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, reset the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, fierce pose, awkward chair. Sink the weight into the hips, sink the weight into the heels. Arms come up. Inhale here. Exhale, fold, release. Let all that go. Inhale, halfway lift, reset the spine. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips high, heels low. This second time through on both sides, I'm gonna cut some things out, so it's gonna be a little briefer. Keep your ears open. Inhale, right leg lifts, reach, extend the right leg behind you. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge. Anjaneyasana, arms up, chest lifts. Exhale, open up, warrior two, Virabhadrasana. Inhale, reverse warrior, peaceful warrior, stretching through the side body. Exhale, side angle pose, right arm down, left arm up. Inhale, straighten the front leg, lift your chest. Exhale, cartwheel your arms and flow your version of high to low. And we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Inhale, Ujjayi. Exhale, lion's breath, tongue out. Seal the lips, inhale in through your nose. Exhale out through your nose. And picturing everyone on the screen that we saw at the beginning of class, knowing that we really are in this practice together, even though it may feel like we are not, because we're in a room by ourselves. But this is still a moment of connecting with community and as the collective. Inhale, left leg lifts, reach, extend the left leg behind you. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Take a moment to feel rooted, grounded. Inhale, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana, arms up, chest lifts. Exhale, open up, warrior two, Virabhadrasana. Inhale, reverse warrior, peaceful warrior, stretching through the side body, keeping a deep bend in the front knee. Exhale, side angle pose, left arm down, right arm up, twisting and turning. Inhale, straighten the front leg, lift your chest, tee the arms. Exhale, cartwheel your arms and flow your version of high to low. And we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Inhale, Ujjayi. Exhale, Ujjayi. So we're gonna go ahead and flow that one more time on each side. And my intention with everything that we did before, I know Jillian practiced with me on Tuesday. We've been working up to birds of paradise. And so hopefully we are prepared at this point to make an attempt on both sides to arrive there. Inhale, Ujjayi. Exhale, Ujjayi. Inhale, look to the front. Exhale, move there, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, reset your spine. Exhale, release, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, fierce pose, awkward chair. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, reset your spine. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips high, heels low. And you can go ahead and actually take a seat really quick and take a moment for self-care. So if you want to grab a sip of water, or like myself, you need to run to the bathroom really quick, take that moment right now. I'll be right back. Okay, awesome. When you're ready, let's meet back in downward facing dog, hips high, heels low. Taking a moment to paddle out the feet, coming back to our practice. Inhale, Ujjayi. Exhale, Ujjayi. Inhale, right leg lifts. Reach, extend the right leg behind you. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Feet are on separate tracks. Inhale, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana, arms up, chest lifts. Exhale, open up, warrior two, Virabhadrasana. Inhale, reverse warrior, peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle pose and pause here. So option today to join me in Birds of Paradise, or option today just to work into a half, not just, to work into a half bind. And you can use the strap or the scarf. So grabbing the strap or the scarf with your left hand and letting it drape behind you. And with the right arm, grabbing for the strap or the scarf. And the strap or the scarf is really like an extension of your arm here. Maybe you don't want to use the strap or the scarf. Maybe you want to just go for the full bind. But finding where your edge is today. So option to be here, and this is plenty. And if you need to release out of the posture, always option to come into Malasana squat. Hands at heart center, sinking the hips. But if you would like to join me in Birds of Paradise, this is where it gets like a little clunky. So left leg is going to come meet the right leg. And for me, I kind of just have to bounce it forward and slowly make my way towards the top of the mat. And I'm going to even shift myself to face you. And so option to use the scarf here as a binding material, or option to have the hands gripped. On this side, I'm going to use my hands. And on the other side, I'm going to use the strap of a scarf. Just kind of notice the difference from side to side. And then really plugging the weight into your left foot, keeping the knees bent and utilizing a lot of abdominal strength. See if you can slowly lift and rise. You may stumble, you may shake, you may fall out, and that's okay. And arriving up perhaps in Birds of Paradise. And with my arms bound, there's a lot more tension in my shoulder, and I'm not as able to actively kick through the right leg. So maybe you're kicking through the right leg. Oh my goodness, what are we doing? Giving it a few tries. And then release slowly, intentionally, sinking back down. Oh my goodness. Bounce that off, shake it off. And knowing that like being able to do these postures is like so far from important. Sometimes they're fun. I do enjoy playing with them. But that is not the practice. We're here to, at least I'm here to practice mindfulness and also build my resiliency. Like how can I, in moments of turmoil and chaos, like how can I train myself to be more responsive and less reactive? So honoring that first and foremost, always in the practice. And we'll meet back in downward facing dog and do that on the left side. Inhale, Ujjayi. Exhale, Ujjayi. Inhale, left leg lifts. Reach, extend the left leg behind. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. If you got to pick up the foot to move it up there, take a moment to feel grounded, rooted. Inhale, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana, arms up, chest lifts. Exhale, open up, warrior two, Virabhadrasana. Inhale, reverse warrior, peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle pose. And option to work a bind here. So with the right arm, grab the scarf and let it dangle behind you. With the left, go ahead and grab for the scarf. And finding an appropriate degree, maybe you even want to bind the arms up. And then this is where it gets tricky. We're going to move. So again, option to stay here or come into a Malasana squat, or option to bring the right leg up towards the left, clunkily. And maybe you're graceful, I don't know. For me, it feels really awkward. Arriving here, both feet are in line with each other. Taking a moment to root through the right leg. And I'm gonna keep the bind with my scarf in this leg. And then slowly rising, lifting the chest. Ooh, my ankle is wobbling like nobody's business. And arriving. And on this side, I'm going to extend my left leg. And I'm kind of more able to do so. I'm even going to slacken the material because the strap is extending, or it's kind of supporting the lift of my leg. Or if you want to kind of go for more of the binding action, whoop, maybe you fall out. I totally just fell out. And that's okay. It's part of the practice to re-enter and try again. Whew. And then if you're ready to let that experience go, you can release the scarf. Release the leg down. Shake it out, shake it out. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, forward fold. Last one, inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, we're actually just gonna come to a seat. No more chaturangas. And now is an opportunity to practice a forward fold. And I kind of like to leave it as dealer's choice. You can practice Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Sorry, after all the crazy movement, I've lost control of my mind. So centering, bringing the awareness, connecting to your breath. My heart rate is definitely elevated right now, so taking a moment to connect, ground, and then extending the legs out long in front of you. If you wanted to take more of a butterfly shape, you're more than welcome to also. But for Paschimottanasana, we're moving the glutes out from underneath you, sitting on the sits bones, the ischial tuberosity. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, fold. So if you would like this to be more yang, flex the toes, you can have bend in the knees, you can even pull in the arms. Or if you're looking for more of a yin practice, more of tapping into and cultivating receptivity and allowing, let the legs just lie flat, be passive, and let the spine, the chest spill over your legs, letting the head hang. And perhaps returning to the intention you set at the beginning of this practice. Noticing the energetic quality, how your tone in the narrative may have shifted. Maybe there's a lot of similar vrittis or thought forms going on in the mind, thought waves. And vertebrae by vertebrae, unfurl the spine. And come to laying on your back. And we're going to seal class out with a twist on each side. So go ahead and extend the left leg out super long. Let it relax and hug the right knee in towards your chest. Give it a squeeze. Bringing the knee towards the right armpit. You can oscillate your ankle towards the right. You can oscillate your ankle towards the left. And then with the left arm, guide the right leg towards the left. Right arm can go out like half of a T. Gaze can go towards your fingers, but also gaze can be up. And relaxing the jaw here, letting it slacken. Removing the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Relaxing the forehead. Relaxing the shoulders. Relaxing the belly. Releasing any residual tension. And focusing on the breath. It doesn't have to be the Ujjayi Pranayama. Just noticing. And bring the right knee back towards center. Hug that into your chest. And then send the right leg out long. Hug the left knee in towards your chest. Give it a squeeze. Feel the compression. Can roll the ankle clockwise, counterclockwise. And with the right arm, guide your left leg towards the right. And cast your arm out like half of a T. Gaze can follow, or gaze can be up. And enjoying this supine twist, the twisting and turning. It's taking place in the torso and trying to relax anywhere where you know that you sometimes hold tension. And lately, I've really been liking this idea of flicking it off. So if you want to just like flick it off, I don't know, for me, that's been very effective. So kind of just letting that residual anxiety or whatever it is just go. Dogs kind of like shake it off after they have a stressful experience. I think humans can do that also. Of course they can. And then bring the left knee back towards center, right knee back towards center, coming into a cannonball shape, apanasana. And apana means to offload. And if you would like to offload something and let it go, first come into this cannonball shape. You can even embrace your arms around your shins, perhaps embracing a quality that you're inviting in, and then thinking of whatever it is that you wanted to let go of. And releasing into Shavasana, final rest, extending the limbs long at your sides. And always option to take Shavasana legs at the wall if you're at home or up the couch, or if you prefer to take it in a fetal position, or if you want to take it on your belly, this is your opportunity to rest. And also knowing it's the end of class. And so immediately in my mind, I'm like, oh, it's the end of class. Time for me to start planning. No. It is still class. And maybe that's not you. But sometimes it's helpful for me to have a reminder that you deserve these 2 minutes of rest and regeneration and of being with the body, of practicing mindfulness and awareness. And I will let you know when it's time to come up and out of the practice. And I'll leave the offering today of just focusing on the breath, noticing the belly rising and then the fall. And you can count the breath. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. And you can even add moments of retention at full and moments of retention at empty. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Hold at full. 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Hold at empty. 2, 3. And continuing. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. And I'll let you continue to practice in silence, or if you don't really want to focus on breathing right now, doing your own meditation practice. You can slowly invite movement back into your fingers, gentle wiggling of the toes, bouncing of the body, little micro movements. And extend the arms above you like you would if you stretch early in the morning. Hug the knees in towards your chest and choose if you'd like to roll over onto the right, more active solar energy, or the left, more lunar, receptive. Using the bicep like a pillow and taking a moment to pause in this great pause that the world has really kind of just enacted upon us, and cultivating that same ideal of rest and regeneration, and really validating those qualities. They are necessary as a part of a balance in life. And I think we were so fixated, at least I was, on launching forward and getting stuff done and hustling and progress, that I wasn't willing to value rest and regeneration as much as I would have liked to. So embracing that right now, knowing that everything is going to shift and change, and honoring where you are in your process, knowing that that is always enough. And also honoring the lineage of this practice going back to India. And this text, it's so old. It's like it was written before Christ. And it was verbally passed down from teacher to teacher. So it's been around for so long, and it's been vetted by so many generations, honoring the lineage of this practice. And also your lineage, your teachers and experiences. And I also like to honor my teachers who have taught me in many different capacities, so I can then share that wisdom with you. And honoring the Duwamish people and the territory that we occupy here in Seattle, if that is where you are residing. And you can gently press yourself up to a seat. You can keep the eyes closed, or you can flutter them open, and we'll meet with hands at heart center in the Anjali Mudra gesture. And this gesture can mean a lot of different things in different contexts, but in yoga, it represents non-dualism. So unity, and where we find balance, equanimity at the heart. And bringing hands from heart center to third eye, strengthening the connection between your heart and your mind. And bowing forward to seal in the practice. Thank you. Namaste, peace. And truly, I do thank you, and I appreciate you so much for coming to practice and for being a part of this community, even though we have to practice online. It's still a really powerful practice, and I know I've been leaning on it really hard in my life. So thank you for being here. I am going to come and unmute everyone, undo this mic, and if you would like to join me in 3 rounds of Om, I would love that. Okay. And if everybody wants to find a comfortable seat, or maybe you are still in a comfortable seat, feeling the points of contact between the floor and the glutes, just like we did at the beginning of class. The spine springing up, relaxing the shoulders, maybe even tucking the chin a little. We'll do 1 clearing breath and then 3 rounds of Om together. Inhale in through the nose. And the exhale, release out of the mouth. This time, prepare for 3 Oms. Inhale in. And exhale, release. Flutter the eyes open. And again, thank you so much for being here. If you ever have any questions for me, I'm going to put my email in the chat box. It's also my PayPal. I'm going to drop my Venmo information in there as well. And otherwise, it's a beautiful Thursday, and I hope we're able to absorb some of the sun in our respective locations and mindfully with social distance. You're all amazing humans. It was really nice to meet you, Teo, and thank you for being here, Olivia and Blair and Rochelle and Jillian. You're all awesome.
Thank you everyone for practicing.
Yeah. Everyone at the end of class here. It's so great.